So over the past few years, interior design trends have really been on a bit of a ride. Like after coming out of lockdowns in 2022 and from 2023, the way we look at our spaces has changed so much, and it's been amazing to watch how trends evolve and design moves from bold and structured looks to styles that feel more personal, fluid, and relaxed, which is a very interesting shift. So here we are in 2025. I've been keeping an eye on design trends for a few years now, which makes it easy to spot the fresh ideas that pop up each year. But that's because I've been studying them and I've got a solid understanding of the background. Then I thought to myself, what about the audience? Like, I believe with that context, just listing trends from number 1 to 5 or 10, whatever, doesn't really tell you much. So I want to take a step back and start by giving you some background before bombarding you with this trend and that. Look, in 2023, the decor and interior design landscape was all about making a statement. Bold and saturated colors were everywhere, and designers were using jewel tones like emerald green and deep sapphire blue to create dramatic and eye-catching vibes. Thank goodness the design world had finally made the move to ditch the endless grays and whites the year before and had started letting some color back in for more vibrant and inviting vibes. So it became the year of color and pattern drenching as well, like wallpaper everywhere, even on the ceiling. And intricate patterns were used and they were layered over one another. Texture played a major role in design back then as well. And as you probably can remember very well, Ooookay fabric had its moment big time. It became a favorite for everything from sofas to armchairs to cushions and throws. It was literally everywhere. But while all the fancy stuff was going strong, there was also a big focus on wellness. Things like immersive bathrooms became super popular late COVID time, which gave people a little haven to escape into, and it was exactly what people wanted. Then by 2024, things began to sort of mellow out. Like bold colors were still around, but earthy tones and natural palettes started to creep in. Colors like rich browns, terracotta, and they were all used generously in home decor. The beauty of earthy shades is that they add warmth and comfort to a space, and they bring a sense of nature indoors. They make a room feel inviting and connected to the natural world outside, which was, again, exactly what people needed after stuck in their homes during COVID. Now, with everyone heading back to the office, designers have helped create welcoming and calming spaces that make people feel at ease when they're home without the harshness that cooler tones or bold colors can sometimes bring. The trend of mixing materials like different woods, metals, and fabrics followed along and became bold, and designers thought to add layers of depth and personality to spaces. So last year, we saw that people began to show more interest in designs and homes that felt lived in rather than picture perfect. Drapery started to become more dramatic, wallpaper stayed strong, and upholstered walls also made their way into designer homes. You must have seen a lot of texture and coziness in the design last year, which that coziness partially comes from the color drenching trend, where designers covered the entire room in one bold color from the walls to the ceiling to the furniture. Color drenching basically reflects our desire for bold and expressive spaces that feel both very modern and comforting rather than sticking to traditional accent walls or neutral palettes. I personally like the color drenching trend because it makes rooms feel more intimate and dynamic and lets you fully experience whatever color you choose. I have noticed that people were going for rich, saturated tones like deep emerald greens, navy blues, and even warm shades like terracotta. One of the things I found most exciting in 2024 decor, the focus was on real and personal expression that I absolutely love and adore. DIY projects were still going strong. We know that they took off during COVID. Both designers and non-designers started to finally create spaces that showed off their unique taste instead of just following trends, which led to more colorful interiors where the focus was on making the space feel like home. And now in 2025, we can expect to see more of that. The trends this year feel like the perfect mix of everything we have been heading towards, which are individuality, comfort, and creativity. Meaning that the boldness of 2023 hasn't disappeared entirely, but it's been tempered by practicality and personal taste. Like saturated colors are now balanced with softer, earthy tones, or jewel tones still pop here and there, but we see that they are combined with natural textures and neutral bases to create a complementary effect, and they go together really well. The thing is, these aren't just trends anymore. We are basically shifting into timeless design choices. 2025 is going to be all about creating a specific mood, whether you want it calm and light or bold and dramatic. Personally, I am so glad that the moody hues are in this year, because the amount of contrast in black and white style homes dated back in 2018 was really annoying in my eyes, because I believe a home should feel warm and welcoming and not look like a showroom. So yay! Now we will continue to see more maroon, brown, navy, and olive green this year. Thankfully, people are letting go of the all white interior, and instead they are looking for shades of coziness. And nothing beats the sophistication, warmth, and interest that a brown adds to a space. So I am very excited to see more of this color in people's home this year. Vintage vibes will definitely stay strong, but instead of just looking back, designers will likely blend early modernism with contemporary elements for fresh and new looks. So don't be surprised to see more Bauhaus aesthetics and Art Deco inspired designs. If you have an antique piece from that era, definitely hang on to it, because it is going to be trendy. Expect to see Art Deco features like dramatic lightings with chrome or brass finishes and crystal details. And its signature geometric shapes, I reckon, will show up in everything from furniture shapes to zigzag and chevron style floorboards, wallpaper and rugs, etc. That's my bet. We'll just have to wait and see if that takes off. People also want their homes to be different and beautiful. So features such as a sculptural lighting, curved furniture, moody and layered rooms from last year are going to stay. And seems like people are moving away from just using one simple light and instead are going for bold, eye-catching fixtures that add style to a room. Layering different types of lighting like ambient, task, and accent lights is also becoming more popular, which is fantastic because lighting creates a more dynamic and, of course, cozy vibe. Last year, we saw beautiful lighting in the form of sconces, chandeliers, and sculptural floor lamps. And I'm sure in 2025, more people will replace purely functional lighting with pieces that add style and personality into their homes. I absolutely love the fact that people are leaning more into moody and rich colors and patterns and are actually experimenting more with unexpected color combinations. They are not shy about using them everywhere, and not just in fabrics or art, but also on the floor with patterned and beautifully designed rugs that I absolutely love, and even on the walls. Designers and wallpaper makers over the years have totally changed the game and taken what we used to think of as old and stuffy and transformed it into something completely modern and current. Like last year, materials that mimic wood or had embroidered patterns with stunning textures prove just how creative and fresh these elements can feel. Over the past couple of years, textured walls have really become popular, and I'm pretty sure we will see them everywhere in 2025, whether it's wallpaper, paint, or wall paneling, which made a big comeback last year, and I reckon it will be even bigger this year. I have seen channel tufted upholstery and dramatic drapery coming back into designer homes, and I am so excited about them because they both have Art Deco influences and add luxury to the house. The channel tufted upholstery fits perfectly in a contemporary style house, and I think we will see even more of it in furniture like sofas, headboards, and chairs, which I have no problem with because it is sophisticated, and the structured, rigid look of it it, adds texture to a space. The dramatic drapery trend, sign me up for it, because aside from being nostalgic, what I love about drapery is that I believe with a fresh and modern take, they can look super chic. I have seen ripple fold styles and layered window treatments that really added depth and texture to spaces. Another big shift is that trends aren't so rigid anymore. They are more like suggestions. They're meant to inspire rather than tell you what to do. Like, you might spot a designer's space with patterns or moody colors, but it doesn't mean that you have to copy it exactly. You can just take the parts you like and make them work in your own space. And what is clear from all this change is that interior design is shifting to be more about people in the space than the trends themselves. Trends now are about individuality and long-term happiness rather than chasing the latest fads. As we move forward in 2025, it is pretty exciting to think about where design will go next. But one thing's for sure, the best homes will always be the ones that truly reflect the people living in them. It has always been that way. And that is why after decades and sometimes centuries, when you enter some homes, they still are relevant. You feel at home there. You feel grounded there. Like, take the cottagecore trend, for example, which is a fresh and modern take on the classic cozy English cottage style. I think it became popular because it is down to earth, full of character, with warm and rich colors and historical references. It also blends modern design with locally sourced or handmade materials. And the focus is on quality over mass-produced items. That is what makes it so special. So expect to see more of that. Lots of warm colors, playful patterns, and a mix of modern lighting with traditional furniture. I also think that the scalloped edges and wavy shapes that are popular now will continue into 2025, but in a more mature way than the Gen Z's aesthetic from, say, a year or 2 years ago. Not every trend is going to be your vibe, and that is totally fine. The key is to choose what you like, what fits your style, what works for you in your home, and what is within your budget. I remember from an old interview with Marc Jacobs, the fashion designer, and he said something that really stuck with me. He said, fashion is all about change. It has to change. So there's always something new each year. Manufacturers might produce clothes, but designers are the ones creating fashion. And I'm telling you, this is the same with interiors. Most of what is in comes from professional designers who set the trends, and then those ideas gradually filter into people's homes. But just like how not everybody wears the same outfits we see on runways, we cannot expect everyone to follow every interior design trend coming out of high-end design studios. It just doesn't work like that, and it doesn't need to. So please take these trends as inspirations and not just a checklist. I am already really excited about my next video, where I will be talking about the practicality of 2025 trends, and I'll be helping you use the ones that I mentioned today and probably a little bit more to personalize your space and add character to your home, and not just copying them from someone else. So stay tuned for that, and in the meantime, check out this next video. I am sure you will find some cool inspirations there as well. I love creating a community of people who, like myself, love good design and have a passion for decor. So by subscribing to the channel and liking this video, you will help it reach more people. Please give me your honest feedback as well. Leave comments with your thoughts, ideas, and feedbacks. And thanks for watching. See you next week. Bye.